Good afternoon, everyone. I was at a Chabad minyan this morning, where when the Kohanim were ready to duchen, the Chazan started to say out loud, Elokenu ve'elokei avotenu, barchenu barbacha ha'meshuleshet, etc., getting to the word Kohanim and saying it out loud. However, his voice was drowned by the person sitting next to me that screamed out, "Shh! Hefsek!" in those very words, and the way I just said it with his hands going outstretched. I waited till after Chazarat HaShatz, and right before laning, I told him 3 things that I'd like to share with you. Number 1, when you're in a guest in a shul that you're not used to, my advice is, do not, under any circumstances, start telling off the people. Take a minute, go back home, check it out. It could very well be that one of the 12 customs, the 12 ways to daven to God of the 12 tribes, is this custom. And indeed, that's probably the truth in most cases. There's exceptions, but in general, that's probably what to rely on. Number 2, it can't be a hefsek, an interruption, because the Shulchan Aruch says explicitly that the person that says Kohanim is not the congregation, but rather the Chazan himself. And the Mishnah Berurah points out it's not a hefsek because it's tzorech tefla. Namely, if you talk about politics in the middle of Chazarat HaShatz, then of course that's an interruption. But not if you do something that's on the agenda of Chazarat HaShatz. And as we all know, DUCHENING is part and parcel of Chazarat HaShatz. And number 3, and maybe most important, what happened in the Chabad shul is not just a Chabad custom. It's the Ramah. The Ramah says explicitly in Siman Kuf Kaf Chet Seif Katan Yud that 2 customs, but the second one is that the Chazan says quietly Elokeinu ve'elokei avotenu till the word Kohanim. He says the word Kohanim out loud, then Kdושך כאמור quietly, and then the Kohanim duchen. And then he adds nוהגין במדינות אלו. It's not only a custom, it's our custom. Therefore, I told this fine gentleman, they're on very solid ground. After all, the Ramah himself says to do it. He said something to me afterwards that rather surprised me. He said, "You're right, I didn't know. However, in Chabad shuls, you can't really rely on what happens." I find it very, very surprising to hear that. Because so many of us, when we travel around the world, go to Chabad minyans. And I'm not sure how this gentleman goes ahead and on the one hand says, I'm willing to daven in the minyan and use their services for having a minyan, and at the same time berate them the whole way there and while I'm there. So to sum up, there is ample room to say Elokeinu ve'elokei avotenu even when there's Kohanim, and even if you don't know that, better to keep your mouth shut and check it out than on the spot right away go ahead and criticize people. Have a wonderful day.